Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on something pretty fascinating, pet DNA testing.
Yeah, it really sits at this cool intersection of like biotech, personalized care, and that whole booming pet wellness world.
Exactly. And we've dug into the research to give you, the shortcut to understanding what's happening in this space. It's evolving fast.
Oh, fast is definitely the word. I mean, the projections are pretty wild.
How loud are we talking?
We're looking at the market more than doubling. Think around $420 million in 2025,
Huh.
jumping to over $900 million by 2035.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a 9.1% annual growth rate. And what that really means for you if you're a pet owner is this big shift.
A shift in how we care for them.
Precisely. Moving away from just reacting to problems towards something way more proactive, way more informed by, well, their genetics.
Okay, so why now? Why this explosion in popularity? What are people really looking for when they swab their dog's cheek?
Good question. I think it's a mix of things.
Like, is it just curiosity? What breed is my rescue mutt? Or is it deeper? My gut says it's about getting that unique genetic map right.
You absolutely hit on it. Understanding the breed mix is part of it for sure, but it's also about uncovering potential health risks hidden in their DNA.
Oh, okay. Proactive health.
Exactly. And the applications are just expanding like crazy. It's not just, is Fluffy part poodle?
Hmm.
We're talking predicting breed-specific diseases.
Before symptoms even show up.
Yeah, potentially years before. And it even goes into things like personalized nutrition.
Wait, like a diet based on their DNA?
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
Recommendations tailored to their specific genetic needs to, optimize their health. It's pretty amazing stuff.
That is amazing. So it's not just the tests themselves, but the bigger forces, right? Like obviously more people own pets now.
That's a foundation, yeah. Rising pet ownership globally.
And the biotechnology has gotten better and cheaper.
Significantly better, more accurate, more accessible. And then there's that other big trend.
The humanization of pets, treating them like furry kids.
Totally. We want the same kind of data-driven health insights for them that we want for ourselves, their family.
Okay, so how are these tests actually done? What's the most common way?
Well, if you look at the market share, the sort of gold standard right now is blood tests.
Blood tests. Really? I picture the cheek swabs mostly.
Swabs are common, especially for direct-to-consumer, but blood tests hold over half the market share.
By blood.
Simple reason, really. You just get higher quality, more reliable DNA compared to, say, saliva or hair. It's a cleaner genetic picture.
Okay, that makes sense scientifically. I guess vets would lean towards that, especially if they need a really thorough look.
Exactly. For those comprehensive genetic panels, vets often prefer blood.
And when you say comprehensive panels, what does that cover? Tons of markers.
Yeah, we could be talking screening for hundreds of genetic markers linked to diseases or traits.
Is the invasiveness of a blood draw a factor for owners compared to a simple swab?
It's a consideration, for sure. But for those really detailed health insights, the reliability of blood often wins out, especially in a clinical setting. And what's interesting, too, is that advances in, like, sample stabilization tech have really helped.
How so?
It just means the blood samples stay good, stay accurate for longer, even during shipping to the lab. Makes the whole process more efficient and reliable, reinforces why blood is often preferred for accuracy.
Right, right. So you've got these accurate tools. What's the first thing people want to know? You mentioned breed profiles earlier. They're a big piece of this.
Oh, huge. Breed profile testing holds nearly 40% of the market share.
So for you listening, what's the big appeal there? Just solving the mystery of the mutt.
It's often more than just curiosity, though that's part of it. Knowing the breed mix helps you understand behavior,
Ah, like, okay, that's why he herds the kids.
Exactly. Or why your terrier mix digs up the garden. It also flags potential health issues common to those breeds.
Yeah.
Allows for proactive care.
And maybe even lifestyle stuff, like exercise needs.
Definitely. Helps you plan how much activity they might need or what kind of training fits their natural tendencies.
And I guess the way these tests are sold makes a difference too, like direct-to-consumer kits.
Absolutely. That direct marketing plus really easy to understand digital reports. It makes breed profiling super popular, especially like you said for people adopting mixed breeds. They get answers fast.
Makes sense. Now, you mentioned dogs. Are they the main focus here?
By far. Dogs are the undisputed leaders. They account for over 54% of the market revenue.
Okay, well, that seems obvious in a way. More people own dogs globally, right?
That's a big part of it. But it's also because genetic testing is just particularly relevant for dogs.
Why specifically dogs?
Well, think about all the known breed-specific conditions and hereditary diseases in purebreds and even mixes. Things vets specifically look out for.
Like hip dysplasia in labs or certain heart conditions.
Exactly. Knowing if your dog carries genes for those can totally change how you manage their health long term. It allows for tailored screening or prevention.
So companies are probably leaning into that, building bigger dog databases.
They absolutely are. Constantly expanding their canine breed databases, adding more markers, and we see lots of dog owners proactively testing now.
For their own peace of mind or for breeding too?
Both. Definitely for preventive care, but also for responsible breeding. Trying to, breed out some of these inherited problems.
Okay, this all sounds pretty positive, lots of growth, innovation. But here's where it gets really interesting, maybe. What are the roadblocks? It can't all be smooth sailing.
No, definitely not. There are significant challenges.
Like what?
Well, one big one is regulatory uncertainty. The rules around genetic data, privacy, they can be really different depending on the country.
Ah, so selling a test in the US might have different rules than in Egypt.
Exactly. And that patchwork of regulations can slow things down for companies trying to operate globally.
Yeah.
Data privacy is a huge concern, too.
And what about from the consumer side? Do people trust the results?
That's another hurdle. Some consumer skepticism about accuracy persists. People want to know the results are reliable before they spend their money. It's a trust thing.
Yeah, you want to feel confident in what it's telling you.
Right. And then there's the market itself. As it grows, more companies jump in.
Meaning more competition, price wars.
Potentially, yeah. Price competition, maybe even market saturation down the line. That could squeeze profits for the companies already established. They need to keep innovating.
Okay, so challenges exist, but let's shift back to the future. If we connect this to the bigger picture, what's driving it forward? What are the opportunities?
There's a lot of excitement there. Innovation and growing awareness are key.
Like AI, is that playing a role?
Absolutely. AI integrated into genetic analysis is a huge deal. It's improving accuracy for sure, but also helping track ancestry more precisely and refining those health risk predictions.
So AI could potentially spot patterns humans might miss in all that data.
That's the idea, making the insights even more powerful. Really pushing towards that predictive, personalized care model.
And the direct-to-consumer trend you mentioned, is that still growing strong?
Oh yeah, e-commerce makes these kits super accessible. You can order one online, do the swab at home. It puts the power right in your hand.
To me means factor is big.
Definitely. And alongside that, there's just this growing general awareness about preventive pet healthcare overall. DNA testing is becoming like a normal part of that conversation.
So less of a novelty, more of a standard tool vets might recommend.
Increasingly, yes. It's getting integrated into wellness plans, veterinary discussions, becoming a cornerstone for proactive health.
Interesting. Let's do a quick global tour. Where's the growth oddest? Any specific countries standing out?
Yeah, we can look at a few. The U.S. market is growing strong, about 9.5% annually.
Driven by.
High pet ownership, definitely. And vets increasingly using genetic screening and preventive care plans.
Okay, what about across the pond? UK.
The UK is growing around 8.8%. There's a strong focus on ethical breeding practices there, and vets are quite integrated. Germany's about 9%. They have pretty strict breeding regulations and a really advanced pet healthcare system overall.
Any super high growth areas?
China. That's the fastest growing, actually over 10%.
Wow, why China?
It seems linked to rising urban pet adoption, more disposable income, and just a growing demand for, premium pet care.
Any others?
South Korea is also strong, around 9.2%. Similar drivers, increasing demand for high-end, sophisticated pet healthcare.
Got it. So who are the companies actually doing all this? Who are the main players we should know?
There are several key players driving innovation. You've got Embark Veterinary Wisdom Panel, Orvet, DNA My Dog.
Okay.
And then bigger players like Zoetis, Neogen Corporation, and also Gensel Diagnostics. It's a mix.
And what are they focusing their energy, their investments on? What's the cutting edge for them?
A lot of it is in the tech itself, things like next-generation sequencing.
Which basically lets them read way more DNA, much faster, right, for a more complete picture.
Exactly. Super comprehensive. They're also constantly expanding those breed databases and the lists of diseases they screen for.
And making it easy for us regular folks to understand.
Crucial point. Developing those user-friendly digital reports is key, making complex genetic info digestible for the average pet owner.
Any cool recent developments that show where things are headed?
Yeah, actually, Wisdom Panel, for example, launched features looking at behavior insights linked to DNA, trying to help owners understand personality traits.
So beyond physical health into behavior. Interesting.
Right. And another company, Easy DNA, introduced something called the Know Your BioAge test.
Bioage, like
Yeah.
the biological age versus calendar age.
Precisely. It looks at epigenetic markers, not to the DNA sequence itself, but how genes are switched on or off to estimate a pet's biological age. It's pretty cutting-edge stuff.
Wow. So tying this all together, what's the main takeaway here?
I think the core shift is clear. Pet DNA testing is moving rapidly from being this niche curiosity.
Something maybe only breeders used.
Yeah, or just early adopters. It's moving from that to becoming a mainstream, almost indispensable tool for proactive, preventative pet healthcare.
And looking ahead, it sounds like the future will be shaped by companies doubling down on AI insights, making tests even easier to get via direct-to-consumer channels.
And crucially, focusing on data security. That's going to be paramount as more sensitive genetic data goes digital.
Right. So for you listening, what does all this mean for you and your own furry family members as we look forward?
It means potentially more tailored care, earlier disease detection, well, lots of possibilities.
Which leads to a final thought to chew on. Given these rapid advances we've talked about and how much we treat pets like family, what new frontiers might open up in the next decade?
Good question.
Could this fundamentally change how we approach, say, animal longevity? Could we significantly extend healthy lifespans? And maybe even, could what we learn from pet genomics influence how we think about human health down the line? Lots to think about.